We are live with your boy Rich and our special guest, David Moadel. How you doing, David?
What's up? I'm good. I'm excited about being on Rich TV and Rich TV Live. Both part of your brand. Both streaming content, making content, putting it out there on YouTube pretty much on a daily basis. I've never seen you take a day off. Maybe it's because you love doing it. Am I right?
Hey man, my phone is always with me, and as long as my phone is with me, I'm gonna be going live. That's just what I do. What I do.
There's no for people with their own YouTube channels and they're doing affiliate links and stuff like that. Maybe you're in a Rich's downline with your cryptocurrencies, and maybe you're putting out your own YouTube videos. Maybe you're inspired by Rich to do that. Rich is telling you right now, all you need is a phone. That's it. It's not like back in the day when you needed fancy equipment, you needed editing stuff. You needed. I mean, Rich, do you even take? How long does it take for you to edit your videos that you put out there? Honestly,
I don't edit my videos. Everything is raw. We don't edit our videos. I think everything. That's what makes Rich TV Live so unique. And I think you see that we're always live.
Yeah,
it's almost always live. It's almost always live. And you got to be a special guy to be able to go live and not make mistakes consistently to embarrass yourself. And and that's, I think, the power of being live is like, what's going to happen? Like, it's not edited. It's not edited.
Yeah.
Right? Partly because I don't like to edit. That's partly. Right?
It's so funny. You and I have such different approaches, and yet we're both building channels here. My videos are a little more tight. They're 5 to 10 minutes because my research says that the YouTube audience maybe is a little bit more short attention span than a movie going audience or a television watching audience. And so I like to hit that sweet spot of 5 to 10 minutes. I put an intro every time. I put an end screen. They have cards. They have all kinds of things. I like to devise a thumbnail that's going to get people's attention. So I do it that way. But then I don't put nearly as many videos as you do. And so you're more into putting out lots of content that is real, kind of a cinema verite, if you will, of streaming, which you can do now. And so if you have your own affiliate link, maybe you're under Rich's downline and you want to make your own downline so you can gain more money from Genesis Mining, Bitconnect, and all of those, Control Finance. Rich is telling you right now, at least I think he's telling you, it's not that hard to do. You don't need video editing software. You don't need to be fancy, and don't worry about making mistakes. Okay, I mean, Lord knows I make mistakes. I edit my videos to cut out my mistakes, which means that I make quite a few of them. And if you watch my interviews on my channel, which you're welcome to do, I do a lot of oh boy, how do I respond to this? And so you see me making mistakes. You don't have to be perfect. Just do it. Just start doing it. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I totally agree. I think anybody can do this. I went to school for radio and television broadcasting, and my teachers were always like, Rich, go to television, Rich, go to television. And I was actually in radio. And at that time, they kept saying that radio was not going to exist. My teachers were telling me radio was not going to exist. And I was heartbroken because I was going to school for radio broadcasting to be a radio broadcaster. I wanted to be able to do the play-by-play for the Toronto Maple Leafs. That was my dream. And anyone who knows me, they would literally, all my friends would call me Radio Richard. And that's just kind of my nickname. And then it went through, and then I got into marketing and sales, and I just went in a different direction. So when I found YouTube, because of my kids, I saw my kids were watching over and over and over again the same videos over and over and over again. And I was like, why are you watching the same videos? And they're like, oh, because I really like them. And I was like, whoa, that's unique. And now here we are a couple years later, and what's crazy is my daughter is becoming a YouTube star as we speak. Her channel, Dave, her channel is getting, her one video is getting 70,000 views a day.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's at over 430,000 views last time I looked. And it was at 100,000 last month, It hit 100,000 and it's just going completely bonkers, and it's getting like 70,000 views a day.
That is crazy.
So my daughter's
Wow.
gone from 500 subscribers to like 1,500 subscribers over like the weekend, and her channel's just going bonkers.
That's great.
But the crazy part about it is all the comments are hate. And it's
What?
an 8-year-old girl. And I'm just like, wow. It's like, what is
What?
wrong with this world? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, what kind of world are we in? Oh my
Who
God.
would do that? Who
Oh,
would
you'd be
give
surprised.
hate
You'd be surprised.
and these are
Sad.
innocent kids. Why would somebody, your daughter? Wow, I can't imagine. Because it's the internet is anonymous. People can, just spout out hate. I'll tell you what, they wouldn't do it to her face or to Rich's face. I know that much.
Honestly,
Because,
I don't want anyone to do anything to anyone's face. I'm just letting you know that this is the world that we live in. I'm not here to pass judgment, but we live in a world where there's a lot of trolls. And whether you're an 8-year-old girl or a 40-year-old man or a 20-year-old student, people are gonna hate on you, and it's just sad. And I just wish we could all just work and live in a world where everyone just supported each other. And that's the thing I love about cryptocurrencies, David, is that there are referral links and affiliate links, okay, where you don't even need money. As long as you're willing to teach people, educate people, and you're willing to learn, and you can help other people get into the industry, you can make an income.
Yeah.
And I have started to do that, and I've started to learn how to do that, and I'm starting to get better at it, and it's starting to change my life, okay?
Yeah.
And I love it, and I'm super excited about the direction that I'm going in, that hopefully you want to go in, and because I see a new world in the digital currency world, and I just see a day like Litecoin, for example, and I own a lot of Litecoin. It's been going up, and I'm just accumulating it through Coinbase. If you guys want to accumulate Litecoin, you can go to Coinbase in the description down below and follow my link. And I'm telling you, Coinbase is a great platform, and they've just now started partnering up with Fidelity, which is an $8 trillion firm, and they are selling Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. And I like their platform because they allow you to buy like $100, and then after a week or so, they let you buy $200. And before you know it, like I've got over $1,000 in my account of all three, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. I'm just accumulating. And I'm like, I like this platform. This is a really cool platform. And to know with Coinbase that it's out of San Francisco, that they're working with Fidelity, they've just raised $100 million, they're going to be a very secure wallet. So I'm just excited about the future. I really believe that we are on the verge of something gigantic.
Yeah, Fidelity is no joke. I was very happy with Fidelity when they I come from the world of stocks and options trading and investing. I was very pleased with Fidelity when they finally lowered their prices for commissions for stocks and options trading. I remember Schwab and Fidelity, they were charging more than most, and then they lowered their prices to $5 a trade or $4.95, something like that, which I thought was fantastic. They're thinking of the future, and now they're thinking of the future again. They're planning ahead by being on the front lines of the cryptocurrency revolution, as we're calling it. And Fidelity is no joke. They're huge. They've been around a long time. They were around before online trading. They're massive. So this is huge news. So it sounds to me like you're already accumulating the top 5 at least. I'm looking at CoinMarketCap.com.
Unfortunately, with Coinbase, the only thing you can really pick up are those 3. And Coinbase, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin.
Okay.
They're not the top 3. They're not the top 3.
In the top 5, there's also Bitcoin Cash and Ripple.
That's correct.
Yeah, okay. After that is Dash, and then a bunch that are lesser known. I don't know how familiar you are with 7, 8, 9, and 10. A bunch of, it's like alphabets too. NEM, IOTA, NEO.
Well, I'm starting to learn about all of them. I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated, and I'm learning about all of them. And first of all, I just want to say hi to some of the people that have joined us in the chat. Let's say hi to Nathaniel. How you doing, Nathaniel? How are you doing, Nancy? How are you, Crypto Corey? How are you, Tech Nanba? Can MTV, how you doing today? How is everybody doing today? How is everybody's weekend? I think that we had an incredible weekend because
Oh
this
yeah.
was the weekend that Conor McGregor fights Floyd Money Mayweather.
Yeah. It's
And
huge.
wow, like I've been leading up to this fight and I've been talking about this fight a lot on Rich TV Live, and I've come
Oh
on
yeah.
the record and said that I believe that Conor would shock the world.
Well, hey, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're not. It's all good. You took a chance by saying that because from what I understand, tell me if I'm wrong, Floyd was favored in this fight. And so you took
Yeah.
the underdog, if you will,
Yes. Yeah.
which is a tough bet to take. When you make a bet like that, and isn't it true that in sports betting, when you bet on the underdog, you can win big, right? So,
That's how
you
they
know,
entice you. Because Floyd
yeah,
was a 5-1 favorite. So in
5 to
order
1.
to make
Okay.
200 grand, you'd have to invest $1 million.
Yeah,
So in
yeah,
order to make $200, you'd have to invest $1,000.
right, right.
In order to make $20, you have to invest $100. So it makes way more sense to invest $20 to make $100, and that's why
Yeah,
most people were putting money on McGregor because
gotcha.
that was the way to make money. And
Low risk, low risk, high reward. I get it. Okay. Now lower probability as well. There's always a price to pay. It's always a balance, you know. Yeah. And so it didn't work out. Now my understanding is that now Floyd Mayweather is what is he 60-0, something like that in his record. So
50,
you know
50 and 0.
50-0. That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Would this fight? Is this like the Ali Foreman of this generation? I mean, was it that big?
I don't think that you could put McGregor in that class because it
Okay.
was his first ever boxing match. So
Okay.
early in the fight, McGregor came out and he hit Floyd with an uppercut. But because they have 8-ounce gloves as opposed to the 4-ounce gloves that they use in the UFC, the power of the punches just weren't. He wasn't able to. He wasn't able to utilize the power of the punch yet because he
Okay.
just wasn't in boxing long enough to learn how to leverage those types of boxing gloves. You could see that he was like McGregor wasn't throwing any heavy punches.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and meanwhile, Floyd was just pounding him.
Yeah.
It was crazy, and it was totally the opposite of what I anticipated. He hit Floyd with a couple punches, and Floyd just took them. And Floyd just kept walking forward like a bully. He just kept taking his punches, and it was he did like a rope-a-dope, like where
Yeah.
he went into the corner and
Yeah.
he just took all his punches, and then Connor would get gassed, and then he would just keep walking forward, and he just started hitting him. And Connor didn't know how to block the punches, and he was just taking punch after punch off his face. And wow, he was outclassed.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Wow,
that's. I remember you were live streaming the whole thing. You know, when in the in the beginning of it, you live streamed. In the middle of it, you live streamed. When it looked like it was getting close,
it was
when it was
awesome.
all over, you live streamed again. And I'll be honest with you, I was using you as a news source. You know, I was
Well,
treating you like CNN. I was like, okay, let me see what let me get the scoop
that's
from Rich
that.
because I know he's watching it.
That was the
I need to be on
idea.
top of it.
Like that was the
Yeah,
idea, right? Like to give you guys the play-by-play.
yeah,
Like to give the public the play-by-play, the live play-by-play, which, like I said, like that was always what I wanted to do. So now I get a chance to do that. And the beautiful thing about YouTube, and the reason why I love YouTube so much, is they allow us to be content creators and be as creative as we want.
yeah, yeah,
And that is extremely unique. Like if we had to go work for a large media company, as opposed to being our own small niche media company, we wouldn't be able to necessarily do that.
right. You wouldn't get to choose what you put out there, but you were able to do it live, do it when you want to, how you want to. I think people see the integrity in that. They don't want their news, and you were providing news. You were providing the play-by-play. I think people want their news unfiltered. I think they want their news unpoliticized, or at least unbiased. So you went out there. I found out from you who won, and I thought that was pretty cool. And it was while it was happening. This was live. It is Rich TV Live after all. I could see you looked like you were maybe a pub or at home somewhere watching it, and you could hear like the cheers and the shouting in the background. It was pretty cool. So,
Yeah, it was pretty amazing, man. It was honestly, it was. I'll give you a play-by-play of the fight. Okay, the first 2 rounds, McGregor won. Clearly, he won the first 2 rounds, and he was hitting Floyd with everything he had, but Floyd just took it. Like Floyd took it like it was nothing. Okay,
mm,
and it got to Conor, and he admitted to that afterwards. He admitted to that. He's like, I would hit him, and he would just keep moving forward, and he took it with so much composure that it got to me. And he kept moving forward, and he kept moving forward, and he was bullying Conor, and he's way smaller than Conor. And Conor said he was going to crush his small, weak body, but Floyd bullied Conor.
mm. So it really was rope a dope, like I said, Foreman and Ali.
Yeah,
Using
he took the
using his head instead. He didn't have maybe the size, but he used his head,
yeah.
which I think is pretty cool. That actually sounds like a really good fight. It went 10 rounds, technical knockout.
It went
Am I right?
10 rounds. And then what happened
Yeah.
was the first 2 rounds, Conor won clearly. The third round, you could even give to Conor, but it was close. And then the fourth round is when Mayweather just took over. And it wasn't even close after. If you look at rounds 4 to 10, Floyd just outclassed Conor because Conor was already tired.
Yeah.
Conor started getting tired, and then Floyd just started picking him apart. But the power of the punches in Floyd, it was like, they were like super quick punches where Conor was like slow lunging punches. And he was kind of having his hands out, just kind of like going like this to keep his distance. But he was
Right.
getting tired, and then by the end, his hands were down. And then Floyd was just boom, boom, boom. And Conor was taking one punch after another. And then
Yeah.
the referee eventually saved Conor without Conor hitting the ground in the 10th round. And Conor was saying, you should have let me hit the ground. You should have let me hit the ground.
Well, yeah, I've heard it said by a few people on the internet where everybody has an opinion that the ref should have just let it continue, maybe stopped it a little too early. But remember, the ref has the job. He's not going to let somebody, get killed in there. I mean, he has to stop it at some point. There is such a thing as a TKO.
I
Not
agree.
every knockout. Maybe MMA people that are accustomed to seeing blood and people getting choked out and knocked out. But it doesn't have to be like that. There are safety precautions that are in place, from what I understand. And so, I think it was a fair fight. So, what's next? I mean, what's next for both fighters? Who knows? I'm excited to see. I haven't been this excited about fighting in a long time. I think it's pretty cool. It's very rare that it gets to this level of the news where it, it's the top headline in the news. So I think that's pretty cool.
Well, I think the thing that's really cool about it is that after the fights, because I watched the pre-fights, I watched the fights, and I watched the post-fights. And after the fights, they were friendly. They were both happy because both of them made a ton of money. And
Sure.
and I've heard some people say that Floyd might make as much as $1 billion because of this fight.
Wow.
He's gonna make at least $350 million, but who knows long term off all the merchandise they'll be able to sell and the
Yeah.
amount of hundreds of millions that Conor will make long term off of this fight. Because
Right.
it's a first fight of one of the best MMA fighters versus one of the best pound for pound boxers ever, and it went 10 rounds.
Yeah. So
It
at least
was
people got their money's worth. I remember back in the day, back in the late 80s, early 1990s, when Mike Tyson would have, he'd be on pay-per-view. People would pay a lot of money, and the fight would last, 20 seconds. So, which is interesting in itself. That's an interesting story. But I imagine people actually got their money's worth from this fight if they did the pay-per-view or if they saw it wherever. So at least you got a good fight out of this. Thank goodness, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I think it was honestly, I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a really good fight, and I actually thought it was very competitive considering you were having a UFC fighter in his first fight ever in boxing versus a boxer who's been boxing his entire life. I thought Conor actually did very well to go 10 rounds with a fighter as good and as polished as Floyd. I think
Right.
it says a lot for the quality of the boxers in MMA.
Sure, absolutely. They have to be able to do that, and they have to be able to wrestle too. So, yeah, could we really expect Conor to have won this? Probably not.
No,
You know,
nobody expected him to win. And I thought that Conor would be able to knock him out with some of the punches he laid on him. But Floyd was way tougher than I thought. Floyd
right.
was tough, man. He was hitting Conor with elbows. He was playing dirty. And even after the fight, Conor said, I turned him into a Mexican. And it was because during the fight, my friends and I noticed that he was using elbows. He was hitting Conor with elbows. And the referee, I believe, was being very one-sided towards Floyd. And even during the weigh-ins and during the stare down, he was talking about the rules and he only spoke to Conor. He never looked at Floyd. It was weird.
Interesting.
He looked at Floyd,
That's interesting.
he looked at Conor, and then he gave the entire rules to Conor the whole time. And then after the fight, Conor even mentioned that. You know? It's like they got into his head even right before the fight. You know?
Yeah.
And then...
As if to say, listen, you're not one of us, right?
Exactly.
So let me tell you how this works.
And then a lot of people think it was an early stop. Like, Mayweather was destroying him, and Conor was done. He was exhausted. He was getting pounded. He got hit with 20 of 25 punches, power punches, in a row in the 10th round before they stopped it. So I wouldn't say it was a bad stoppage, but, you know, even Conor was like, let me hit the ground. But, you know, they're trying to protect him from brain damage, you know?
Yeah.
You know,
No,
like...
They have rules. Yeah, exactly. They have guidelines. They have rules. They can't just allow anything to happen. I know, sure, some people would love to see more blood, more gore, but come on,
It was still a great fight, and it was entertaining, and I enjoyed it. And I know that the people I was with enjoyed it, and I would love to see more UFC fighters try to fight boxers. But he did get outclassed, but at the same time, I don't think he embarrassed himself.
No.
However, I think with the boxing gloves being 8 ounces versus 4 ounces, it's like a 4-ounce glove is like this and an 8-ounce glove is like this. It's different. He doesn't have the same power. Plus, he hasn't been punching with that glove long enough. He doesn't know how to transfer his energy properly, his leverage, to make as much damage. Because he hit Floyd with an uppercut in the first round, very clean, a huge uppercut. And if he did that in the UFC, for sure he would knock the guy out.
But it's a different scene. They got those thick gloves on. It doesn't have the power. It doesn't have the impact.
And Floyd's tough. Floyd took it like nothing. Because I didn't see the punch until afterwards it was in slow motion. Because he did it so quick. And it was a good punch placed right on his chin. And it made him jump. But he took it like a bulldog. Like in like normal speed. He takes it and just keeps moving forward.
Yeah. Well, he's 50-0 for a reason, right?
Mayweather was amazing. You should watch the fight. Even if you watch it on YouTube, watch the fight.
Okay.
It was very entertaining. And honestly, I think Conor could have won the first round, second round, maybe the third, and maybe the 8th round. And Floyd won the 5th round, 6th round, 7th round, 9th round, and 10th round. And obviously they TKO finished it. And it was a 12-round fight. I would have loved to seen it go 12. And Conor was saying, like Rocky would have been stopped, because, he was beat up and he came back. And, you never gave me the chance to come back. I didn't know you would just stop it like that. So maybe they'll do it again.
Yeah, probably. There's money to be made, so why not have part 2, the rematch, right? And then part 3, who knows, right? It's cool though. It's cool. It's exciting. It gives us all something to talk about. Gets our mind off of all the craziness going on. Like hey, there was some craziness in the cryptocurrency world over the past few days. I know that. I remember, with Bitconnect coin, it got real interesting.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So Bitconnect has had a glitch where apparently investors were taking money out 2 to 3 times the amount that they actually had in their wallet. And apparently this got around and a bunch of individuals took advantage of this situation. I don't know who these individuals are, but they are saying that if those individuals do not put that money back, they are actually going to put those people's data publicly on the Bitconnect page.
Well, there you go. I mean, you have to ask yourself, was it really worth it to whoever did this? Probably nobody in your audience, I'm sure, but to whoever did this, okay, you found a glitch. You took advantage of it. Come on, did you really think you would just totally get away with this? Did you really?
It's like a bank. It's like a bank machine. It's like a bank machine. It pull. You go to your bank machine. It gives you 10 grand that you don't have. You take it. Yeah. Obviously, the next day the bank's gonna be like, "Oh, Mister, we made a mistake. That's not your money. What are you gonna do?" "Oh, no, it's my money." Well, no, that's not your money. There was a glitch. So, unfortunately, these people that did this have affected the entire Bitconnect platform, and it's not necessarily operating at full capacity right now. You are able to get in, you are able to get your interest, but it's not operating at full capacity. Don't expect it to for a little while. I think it's going to take some time for them to get out all the bugs. So just be patient, and I'll be giving everybody updates as I know what's happening. And right now, I'm just not even focused on it. I'm not really going to even talk about it. I want to focus more on, like all the good stuff, man. Because there's so many good things, and we're diversified. That's the one good thing, David, is like Bitconnect, Genesis, Control Finance. That's just one way that we all have the ability to make money in this industry. Another way that I'm now starting to really position myself is by accumulating the top 5, like you talked about, accumulating Bitcoin through Coinbase, accumulating Ethereum, accumulating Litecoin, starting to learn about decentralized blockchain technology, and starting to really learn about all of these companies that are doing ICOs and giving you the ability to invest in these coins at a 50% discount, sometimes 30% discount to the market, which is launching in like a few days. So there's a lot of money to be made all over the place in this industry. The question is, and the key is, are you taking advantage of it? And how are you taking a piece of this pie? Because there's this pie, and how are you taking a little sliver of the pie? I just want my sliver of the pie. I don't need the whole pie. I just want my little piece, my little sliver. And I'm diversified. I've got real estate. I've got stocks. I'm starting to accumulate my coins, and I love it. It's changed my life. I love it, and I really like Litecoin. And if you look at the price of Litecoin, it has been skyrocketing. If you just look at the chart of Litecoin over the last week, I think you'll see that it's doing really well. And in my due diligence of Litecoin, I feel like they have incredible speed of transaction, and they are creating a platform where eventually Litecoin will be accepted everywhere. Mm-hmm. That is, like, you can be a merchant. I've applied to be a merchant for Litecoin to give people to buy Litecoin on richtvlive.com. Okay. So anybody, if you apply to be a merchant, people can buy Litecoin from you.
That's interesting.
Do you understand?
Now they already have to have, I assume, a cryptocurrency wallet of some sort. They have to have, can they do it with US dollars? Do they have to buy Bitcoin first? I'm just curious how that works. If they were to purchase it from you.
Yeah, you can get everything on Rich TV Live. It's like a one-stop shop. Like everything is there. Rich TV Live, we have everything there, from ICO information to setting up wallets to finding the charts. Everything is there. Like, it's a wealth of information. And our whole goal is to turn Rich TV Live into a one-stop shop of information, of stocks, sports, trending, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin-related information, ICO information, and everything that I'm doing. Like today, I just partnered up with, as an affiliate, I got approval to work with investing.com. Investing.com is one of the largest platforms in the world for investing.
Yeah.
So
Oh
to
yeah.
be an affiliate of investing.com is absolutely huge for me and
Oh yeah.
huge for Rich TV Live. So it's going to generate a lot of traffic for the website, and I'm just looking for different banners now that I'm going to be posting everywhere, and it's just exciting. Like, we're moving at a different pace, and I built that website. So I'm getting a website now that I've built myself on GoDaddy, which anybody could do for like $200 for 3 years. Anybody could do this. Set up a YouTube channel, get a website, and you're building your own media company, and
So
and with the
yeah.
power of YouTube, it's and streaming television, streaming live, it's like changed the world. It's changed
Yeah.
the world, and it's just crazy.
Looking.
It's crazy what's
Yeah.
happening. Like, opportunities are happening, and I applied, and initially when I applied with investing.com 2 months ago, I was not approved, and they
But
said,
you didn't give up.
well, what's
Yeah.
interesting is they said I wasn't approved, and I forgot about them. And then 2 months later, they sent me a message saying, "Oh, good news, you've been approved."
There you go.
But
Very
I
good.
didn't ask to be approved again, so I don't understand
Right.
how that happened. So,
Hey, doesn't matter. You're in. You're in. I'm looking at the chart here on CoinMarketCap.com. One of my favorites. Litecoin. The chart actually. I see it. I'm looking at the 3 month chart, and it looks like. You know what I like about the price now? It's not at the. It's like a staircase. There are buyable dips all along, and you always say you said it many times: buying the red, selling the green. Every time this thing dips, you could have bought it, and I could have bought it. I'm guilty too. You could have bought it and just held on. Now, of course, you don't know how low the dips are going to go. And there's an old saying, I believe it was by Bernard Baruch, which is, I never buy exactly at the bottom, and I never sell exactly at the top. So there are going to be times when you buy a dip and it goes down more. Well, okay, so you didn't buy the exact bottom because you don't have a crystal ball. Okay, you can forgive yourself. You're human. It's okay. So if you buy a dip, whether it's in Litecoin or whatever, understand you're gonna lose money at first. That's normal. Then it starts to level off, and then it starts to go back up. And looking at the Litecoin chart, when it goes up, it goes up. When people make money, they really make money. So right now, if you're getting in right now, would I get in at this second? Not necessarily, because it's not a dip right now. It's a little bit high. If you had gotten in
it's on a
a
run.
couple weeks,
It's on a run. You
yeah,
don't buy in the
no,
green,
yeah.
right?
If you had gotten in a couple weeks ago, of course that's hindsight. That was a dip. So what do you do? Do you wait for the next dip? I think so. This thing has never really had like a crash. Litecoin, unlike some coins, now some coins went down, 50%, 70%, 80%. That's not a dip. That's a massacre. You don't want to catch a falling knife. I'm full of cliches today from the stock market, but I'm applying my stock market knowledge to cryptocurrencies because the principles
Yes.
are the same. I think
They
you agree
are.
with that.
Of course they're the
Yeah.
same. How are
So
they
what I
different? It's just another form of
yeah,
currency.
yeah,
Digital currency, baby. It's digital gold.
yep, digital gold. So would I buy it now? I'm not. But can you wait for the next dip? Sure. Now, what if you already own it? You might be tempted to sell here because it did have a run. But if you're a long-term hodler, if you're going to hold on, look at the direction. I could put a ruler on this chart, and that ruler goes upwards. At no point did it crash. It's not going down. It's not a falling knife.
I
If
I
you already
think
have it, I would say hold it.
I think this thing is gonna explode. Because if you actually look at Ethereum, look at their circulation and supply. Their circulation and
Yeah,
supply is 94 million. Whereas Litecoin circulation and supply is around 52 million. Litecoin is currently at $60, $62, and Ethereum is trading at like 340.
yeah,
So I've been watching Litecoin go up. I've been accumulating Litecoin, and instead, yesterday I bought Ethereum. So what I'm doing is whatever is not running, I'm buying, and whatever is running, I'm just holding. But I'm not selling any of these coins. I'm not
right.
planning on ever selling any of these coins.
Yeah. And there are enough coins that some of them will be running at any given moment. Some will be running, some will be dipping. You buy the ones that are dipping.
I see a huge opportunity. I see a huge opportunity. Huge opportunity with Litecoin.
Yeah.
I see huge opportunity with Litecoin. Like, just imagine Litecoin being the next Bitcoin. Like, as far as going from $30 or $60 where it's been to $4,000.
Could happen. It could.
Oh, I see that happening. I see it happening. And that's why I'm loading up on Litecoin, because I see Bitcoin also going from 4,000 to 10,000.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm going to accumulate Bitcoin too. So I'm just going to accumulate all of them.
Yeah. At least Litecoin is affordable. I mean, $63.32 according to CoinMarketCap. It just went up a little bit. At least that's affordable at 63 per
No,
coin.
but remember though, David, you can buy fractions.
Yeah. A lot of people would have to, for Bitcoin at least.
So hey, buddy, there's nothing wrong with buying fractions of Bitcoin. Those fractions could turn into a full Bitcoin one day.
Yeah.
Like if you actually buy a fraction of Bitcoin and the price of Bitcoin goes up, then that fraction could turn, you know, theoretically, that fraction could turn into the price of a Bitcoin today.
Sure.
If the price goes up 10 times.
Yeah.
You know, if you get 10% of a Bitcoin, which would be about, you know, 430 USD, then, you know, in 10 years, or you know, if it goes up 10 times, you would have the price of a full Bitcoin today.
Yeah.
Right? So you can buy fractions. Like I bought a fraction of Ethereum. I bought $200 worth of Ethereum yesterday. Bought a fraction of it because every company that is going and doing an ICO now is getting backed by Ethereum. So Ethereum is going to be enormous. And anybody that's in the industry that understands Ethereum understands that all these coins right now that are launching ICOs are all getting backed by Ethereum.
Yeah.
Which means, what that means, do you understand what that means?
Well, no, it sounds like Ethereum is the basis for a lot of these altcoins. I know that Bitcoin is the mothership, as you've been saying. It's the original, it's the OG, the original gangsta of cryptocurrencies. But if a lot of smaller coins and startup coins are being backed by Ethereum, that's, you know, Ethereum might be a close second when it comes to being the cryptocurrency of choice for more conservative investors, ones that don't want to take a big risk, ones that want to get into a cryptocurrency that is established. Is Ethereum still number 2 as far as market cap goes? I'm not even sure anymore. Yes, they are. I thought it was Bitcoin Cash for a while. Yeah, Bitcoin Cash is number 3. Remember when we thought Bitcoin Cash might not be accepted? It's number 3.
It's doing really well. It's doing really well, and I think it's a must-have in your portfolio.
Okay, Bitcoin Cash. Okay.
Yeah, I believe my fabulous 8 right now that I'm really accumulating are Monero.
Okay.
Take a look at Monero's chart. It's gone up from like $30 up to $130. It's been on a crazy run. And Monero is like the Visa of cryptocurrencies. They've got a card. And I like it because that's the future of cryptocurrency. It's got an incredible chart. Yeah, it's been just on fire. I love Monero. I love Dash. Dash is another one that I just absolutely love. I love Neo. I believe Neo is what they call the Asian Ethereum. Essentially, it's a coin that gives you the ability to create your own coin and an entire exchange, and huge opportunity in Neo. So there's so many really good coins, and then obviously the Fab Five, which, you know, I would throw in Ripple because of the price point and because it is being adopted by banks. Bitcoin Cash, because it is 8 times faster currently for transactions than Bitcoin, and it has a very similar circulation supply as Bitcoin, which is only 15 million. And I believe that is a huge reason and factor when looking at the price point of all of these coins is the circulation supply. And what you'll notice is when you see a circulation supply very low, you'll see a price that's very high. And when you see a circulation supply very high, like Ripple has, they have like 39 billion in circulation, you're going to see a 22-cent price. And when you see Zcash, for example, that has 2 million circulation and supply, you're going to see, a $200 coin price. You see Dash with a very small supply, they have a very high coin price, $300 coin price. So this is the number one reason I've been trying to explain to people. Yes, the technology is important, but the circulation and supply, what is out there that's being traded and circulated by the public, that is the number one factor for me that determines the price. And whether it's going to go up or down, how much liquidity that coin has. And liquidity is a huge factor for me to invest too, because if a coin doesn't have a lot of liquidity, I'm not very interested in investing. I want to invest in a coin that has liquidity. Look at Litecoin. It has incredible amount of liquidity. Incredible amount of liquidity. So I just see Litecoin being a sleeping giant. I see Litecoin being a sleeping giant. I do. And I also see Ethereum being a sleeping giant. I also see Bitcoin Cash being a sleeping giant. And I also see Ripple being a sleeping giant. And it's not too early to get into all of these coins.
Yeah.
I mean, Bitcoin Cash is just getting started. I mean, just think about it. Just think about it. Bitcoin Cash is being adopted by a lot of people, and it's just getting started. And to get in early in Bitcoin Cash is just like getting early in Bitcoin.
Right. The inverse relationship you're explaining here between the price per coin and the circulating supply. The more coins they're printing, I'm accustomed to stock talk. They're printing money. The more coins they print, I imagine the lower the price might be, and vice versa. So you're actually looking for coins, cryptocurrencies, where they don't keep printing more coins.
That's correct.
Because that would keep the price per coin higher.
That's right.
And that has to do with supply demand.
That's right.
When the supply is lower, just like with oil, I'm accustomed to oil and things like that. I know, I might trade USO, which is the oil ETF. So, for example, if OPEC cuts production, if they cut the supply lines, then the price of USO, the price of oil, will go up, and vice versa. If they decide to pump out more oil, the price of USO will go down. And so you have to kind of predict, okay, are they going to pump out more? Are they going to produce more? Do you believe that for something like Ethereum or Litecoin, the ones that you're bullish on, can we really predict that they're not going to keep printing money, keep printing coins? Because I imagine they'll be tempted. Don't you think they'll be tempted to print more coins or create more coins?
No, because they have a max supply.
Okay.
They can't. Litecoin has a max supply. I believe it's 84 million. I believe.
What's to stop them from... Because this is not a physical thing. It's not like gold. You can't make more gold. You can mine more gold, but you can't just make it.
No, when you create your coin, you have the option to either do unlimited coins or do a smart contract. And a smart contract, when you do a smart contract, Ethereum is one of those companies that does a lot of the smart contracts. And what happens is the reason why a lot of these companies are being backed by Ethereum is offering the smart contract. And if you choose to do the smart contract with Ethereum, you'll create a cap on circulation and in the amount of coins you can create.
Okay.
So that is part of it when you're setting up these coins. And if you choose to have a max supply of 50 million coins, you can't have any more coins after that. So what that's going to do, if people want more coins, they're eventually going to have to buy fractions. And that's going to drive the price up, which is already happening in Ethereum and in Bitcoin because the price is so high, the average person can't buy one Bitcoin anymore. But when you first got started with Bitcoin, it was under a penny. It was at a quarter of a penny. So the key right now is to identify the next Bitcoin. And it doesn't have to be at a quarter of a penny. If Litecoin is the next Bitcoin, or Bitcoin Cash is the next Bitcoin, or Ethereum is the next Bitcoin, you can buy a fraction of these coins. You can buy $20, $100 of these coins. And if the price of that coin goes up 10 times, your value of your currency, of your digital currency, will go up 10 times.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. Because, the Federal Reserve, they keep printing dollars, US dollars. I imagine other governments keep printing more and more of their currency, Why? Because they can. Because they can. You know, the banks need more money. The government needs more money. Whoever needs more money, just print more cash. But with the cryptocurrencies, I think one of the part of the appeal of cryptocurrencies as an alternative to the U.S. dollar and other currencies is that there's no Fed printing them. Okay, perhaps there will be a limited supply, and so you can avoid the ravages of inflation. Okay, because inflation and printing, printing dollars has made. If you look at the dollar chart, anybody out there, if you get a chance, go to a stock charting website and type in UUP, which is the U.S. dollar ETF. You'll see the dollar going down, down, down. Probably because I'm sure one of the factors is that the Fed keeps printing dollars because they can. But it sounds, from what Rich is telling me, it sounds like they're going to limit the supply of many of these cryptocurrencies, and so they won't be subject to inflation, making them worth less and less. That won't happen, hopefully. That, along with the decentralization, means a less government-controlled cryptocurrency space, which I think is really exciting. My concern is that for how long is the U.S. government and other governments for how long will they be willing to keep their hands out of this? Because you know how at least the U.S. government, I can't speak for Canada, but the U.S. government, they love to put their hands in things, especially if there's money involved. They love to get involved. They love to take control. Do you think the government's going to be able to stay out of this for much longer?
Well, I think it's difficult for them to try to get into it because at the end of the day, they don't have the control.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, how do you regulate something you don't control?
Good question.
Because they, first of all, don't control the internet. Secondly, they don't control any of these digital currencies. And digital currencies have been created for the people. Because what it's essentially done is it's created a banking system outside of the original traditional banking system. And what it's doing is it's creating a certain level of secrecy and privacy for an individual's holdings where you don't have banks and the elite that have access to your holdings.
Right. Which is exciting. And I think we need that. A currency system that's off the grid to a certain extent.
That's correct.
That's why they have that's why they have blockchain, which is a ledger that keeps, track of transactions, who's buying, who's selling, who owns what.
Correct.
You have to have that. But the blockchain is privately owned. It's not a government entity. Hopefully it'll stay like that. I know the U.S. government. I know how they are. They love to take control of things. I don't know how it is in the Canadian region. I imagine they'd probably be a little more hands off. I'd like to think. I'd like to hope. So I don't know. I hope it stays this way. I hope it stays the way it is now, where it's by the people for the people. And a lot of people I've interviewed on my YouTube channel, they're hoping the same thing, and they've said that this is why this started in the first place, because people were sick and tired, at least in the stateside, people were sick and tired of the manipulation, if you will, of the currencies. It's just getting out of control. Inflation in the United States is 3% per year for the U.S. dollar. I know how it is in other countries. That's horrendous. And that's why staying in cash, in the U.S. at least, is not really a viable option. Imagine after a decade losing 30% of the value of your cash. Okay, that's like a market crash.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
there's nothing good with that.
Staying cash is not safe over time. Whereas with the cryptocurrencies, I'm not telling people to take all their cash and put it into cryptos, but maybe put some of it in, because at least I don't see the ravages of 3% per year inflation affecting Bitcoin. If anything, Bitcoin has gone up quite a bit since it started back in 2009, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, I mean it's up thousands of percent, and that's the beautiful thing about this digital currency, this digital age, and the reason why I want to be getting a piece of this pie that I talk about, because a lot of people, even the elite and even the famous people out there, they don't know about it.
Right.
They don't know about it. So if you're one of the few that's doing it and is participating in it and is accumulating it, then you become one of the leaders of the pack just by simple process of elimination. There just isn't enough people doing it. So
Right.
I'm going to keep buying as much as I can. I'm going to keep getting as much as I can. I'm going to keep getting as much as I can and I'm going to diversify. I'm going to buy coins. I'm going to be on lots of different exchanges. I'm going to have lots of different wallets. I have a different wallet for every coin. I mean, it's spectacular. I absolutely love it. I love the industry. And I'm learning about wallets. I'm learning about coins. I'm working with a lot of companies that want to do ICOs. So there's a lot of great opportunity.
Quick question, if I may. I know Floyd Mayweather has an altcoin. I don't know the name of it. I could look it up real quick. Do you think that went up because he won the fight?
The symbol is STOX. Stocks.
STOX.
Yeah,
okay.
STOX. Take a look.
Has that come out yet? Is that an actual coin yet?
Yes, it's an actual coin.
Okay. I'd have to look up the price there. I imagine him winning might have had if he had lost, would STOX go down? I don't know. Let's see. STOX.
I know it's been on a run on leading up to his fight. So it's been doing well.
Interesting. Wow, it's down today 12.43%. That's interesting. Actually, it's down. That's really odd.
When it's up, it's been up quite a lot. So it may just be, how it is. People buy on rumor, sell on news, right?
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Since most people thought he'd win, then the price goes up. You're right. Buy the rumor, and then when he does win, it actually goes down because people already bought, and now they have to take profits. Yeah. It's gonna have a big run up.
Yeah, you look at his chart. It's run up huge. It's run up from $1 to over $2.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's gonna go down 12%. It's gonna come right back up 12% the next day. I wouldn't.
It's so interesting for me. I come from the stock and options world. So for me, I look at the red numbers minus negative 12 or 13%. To me, that looks big. But in the crypto world, that's kind of average, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, the crypto world is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing some stability in Bitcoin now, but typically, people forget, like a month and a half ago, Bitcoin was at 1,700.
Wow, and now it's
at 4,400 almost. So
more than double that.
Yeah, it's been on an epic run. So.
Yeah.
I've been trying to wait for the opportunity to snipe it, but it's not really given us an opportunity. It's been stabilizing.
It's not giving it to us. Sometimes it's hard to buy in the red, sell in the green. If something just keeps going up and up and up, and you feel like you're missing the bus, well, maybe you are. But we'll wait for a dip. It's okay. I'm extremely patient. I'll wait months if I have to. It's okay. It's all good. You know me. I like to research something for a long time before I jump in. I'm the conservative guy on the show when it comes to finance.
I my whole thing is, and it's always been like this, is I'm gonna try a bunch of different things, and if 2 or 3 of them hit, I'll be all right. And that's always been my strategy. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And like right now, I have a lot of stocks that are just not really doing well. And I've got a lot of cryptocurrencies that are doing extremely well. So I'm very bullish on cryptocurrencies. I'm not going to lie to you. I really, really love cryptocurrencies, and I love stocks too. And I've got a question here from Epic Hustler. Apparently Epic Hustler.
What's up?
Epic Hustler is now married. Congratulations. With children, married with children. Congratulations, Epic Hustler. And he also had a question for BVTK. So BVTK has been on an epic run, went all the way as high as a penny. It's now started to come down, which is expected because that's what happens when stocks go up. They're going to come down. I got into BVTK at 0019. Okay? So when you're buying a stock or when you're buying a coin, you can't try to buy it at the end of its run. You got to try to get it when it's starting a run. You don't want to get it at the end of the run. You want to get it when it's starting a run. Okay? So Epic is asking, oh, he's down 50% on it, and he's asking, what do you do?
Right.
Do you have any advice for him in a situation like that?
First, before I start, I'd like to see an MMA fight between Epic Hustler and Conor McGregor. There it is.
Oh, wow. Wow. That would be epic, for sure.
That I want to see. All right. And I'm rooting for Epic. Here we go. So Rich did okay. It is now 0036, and you bought it, what, 0015, something like that?
0019.
Yeah, well, still, you're fine. You're just about doubling your money, almost. If you're down 50%, I've put out a few videos on this on my channel. What do you do when you're down a lot? It depends on, well, first of all, this is the world of penny stocks. It sucks, but you can lose 50% or more. It happens. It's not like buying Coca-Cola stock, where if you lose 10%, that's a lot, right? It's not like buying Disney or McDonald's stock or something like that. So that is the name of the game. Hopefully you did not put a lot of money into BBTK. Now, it depends on your position size, all right? If you only put in, let's say, 5% of your portfolio into something, and it goes down 50%, at that point, you might as well just leave it in there. Might as well just, because it's not life-changing. You can get back 5% of your portfolio. You can do that in, a few days or weeks or months. You'll get it back. Now, on the other hand, if you put in 30% of your portfolio, I hope you didn't. But if you did, or 40%, or even 20% of your portfolio into BVTK or anything, and now you're down 50%, that could actually affect your lifestyle. It could affect your future. And in that case, I would just cut and run and put it into something else, learn a lesson. Because if it goes down more, that's gonna affect your life even more. Okay, so if it's a small amount, just let it ride because it doesn't make a big difference to you. If it's a large amount, I would cut out because it could get worse. Realize that something that goes down 50%, it's got a long ways to go. It's got a whole other 50% to go downwards. I'm not saying that's going to happen. And sometimes I recommend, now again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor. I cannot tell you what to do. Nothing in this video is to be interpreted as financial advisement. We're not telling you to buy or sell anything. You have to do your own due diligence, make your own decisions. Having said that, sometimes I tell people what I would do, and sometimes I tell my students, my coaching students, I would probably just cut your losses and learn from the experience. And then they do, and then the stock goes up.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do it.
And then they want to strangle me.
Yeah, I won't do it. I'd rather lower my average cost. That's
Right.
just the way I trade. I can't just walk away from my money. I can't do it. I can't do it. I've never done it. I won't do it because I know eventually all these stocks, all these coins are going to do a dead cat bounce. Eventually. They always do. Except for like maybe one or twice in my life have I seen them not just go to nothing. And that happens. But as long as you do the due diligence and you find yourself real companies, you can always position yourself, lower your cost, and eventually, they go on a run, and that's a better way to get out of something. Because, man, to just cut your losses for a 50% loss, that's gut-wrenching.
It is.
It's gut-wrenching.
You know what's more gut-wrenching? A 75 or 80 or 90 or 100% loss. Again,
I agree with you. I'm just telling you how I feel.
Stock.
Oh,
these are penny stocks. In the world of penny stocks, this could go to triple or quadruple zero.
No, you're right.
It could go to zero. Now, if it's Coca-Cola, Disney, McDonald's, it'll probably come back up. In the year 2001 and also in the year 2008, a lot of blue chip stocks went down 50%. Some NASDAQ stocks went down more than 50%, but then came back up a few years later. In the world of penny stocks, I tell people to cut their losses if they put too much into it and learn from the experience. So I would disagree with you on that one in our approach. I don't think either of us is right or wrong. It's just a different approach.
Yeah, I'm not a licensed advisor. I'm not telling anyone what they should do. I'm just telling you how I am because I'm hard-headed. Yeah. And when I'm an investor and things go down, I always, like Snap. Let's talk about Snap.
Sure.
Snap has been on an epic fall. They IPO'd at $17. They came out pre-IPO and started just trading up. Went all the way up to $29 IPO day. I bought at 25. Could have sold at 20, almost 30. Chose not to. Been holding ever since. I put in about $7,000. And then it went all the way down to $11 after the CEO greedily decided to pay himself $1 billion, and then also paid off over $1 billion in debt to people they owed money to. On their first financials, the stock just got clobbered, went all the way down, got crushed. And ever since then, it went to $11. Now it's started to climb back. Started to climb back. Now, I believe it's at over $15 again. Please,
Yep.
Snapchat, come back. Please, Snapchat, come back. And I want to know your opinion. What do you think? Do you think Snapchat is a buy right now? Do you think it's a sell right now? What do you think is going on with Snapchat? What's your opinion?
What is your cost basis? What price did you pay?
$25.
25. So you have a ways to go.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I remember I tell people not to buy IPOs and hold them. And this and Blue Apron and Fitbit, Groupon, GoPro. These are all examples. Shake Shack. So you did it. You bought an IPO and you held. Now it's 15.24. It is starting to come back, but on the other hand, it also started in quotes to come back in May. It had it started to come back. It also started to come back in April. It also started to come back in March. This could be another one of those. There is hope. There is hope. Since you're a hodler, yeah, you're gonna hodl anyway. So you might as well at least believe in it. It could come back. I mean, is this the bottom? It depends. What caused it to go? I mean, look at that decline from May to mid-August. Is just a monstrous decline. The question is, what caused it? What caused that? And is it finished? So that's my question to you. What caused that decline?
Well, I think what's happened is Snapchat is being copied. Essentially, Facebook is copying their applications and using Instagram to essentially copycat Snapchat's platform. And the unique thing about Snapchat is they're bringing back the camera. Snapchat is turning the phone into a camera in your hand. And they're bringing back the camera. But the camera with cool features like lenses, where kids can make funny faces and pictures and send it to their friends. And the cool thing with Snapchat is you send a snap, and then you look at the picture, and then it's gone. So it's also a privacy tool. So there's a lot of cool features with Snap, but Facebook and Instagram have essentially copied them. So that's what's happened. So when that happened, it was essentially killing them.
Right.
It's essentially killing them because their competitors, which are bigger than them, stronger than them, more powerful than them, are able to then, cause problems for them. Which is essentially saying, hey, okay, you got this product, now we got a product. You've got Snapchat stories, now Instagram has Instagram stories. Facebook has Facebook stories. They literally copied them. They copied them.
And how has the reception been? I mean, have people stayed with Snapchat, or have they gone over to the Facebook photo sharing copy?
I think Instagram is unique, and I think Instagram will be a huge success. Snapchat is unique, and I believe Snapchat will be a huge success. I also believe Instagram will be a huge success. We are in the age of social media. We are in the digital age and the social media age. And that's what Rich TV Live is. We're all about what's trending. And we are a digital company, and we're a social media company, and we're all about what's trending. And I think when you put it all together, it's super, super powerful. And if you look at Facebook being a $400 billion company and having a 20-year-old CEO, that is the new world. And if you look at Instagram, it's owned by Facebook. And you look at Snapchat, if Facebook is copying and essentially utilizing a lot of their tools and creating their own similar to make them not so unique, Snapchat must be pretty unique.
Right.
That's what I think, because they're attracting that demographic of the children and the demographic of the teens, which are eventually going to grow up to be purchasers. And they're the future. So these bigger companies, they know that. So that's why they're attacking Snapchat so aggressively. But I think Snapchat is the company of the future, and I believe Snapchat should be at $50 to $100.
Okay, fair enough.
And
Believe that.
I just think so far ahead. And it's the same way I thought about Facebook, and everybody laughed at me when they went down. And look at Facebook today; they're at $160 something, almost $170. And I said the same thing about Amazon. Amazon's at $1,000. I said the same thing about Tesla. I said, you look at all my videos from the beginning of this year. I was right about Netflix. I was right about Facebook. I was right about Amazon. I was right about Tesla. I was right about Apple. I talked about all of those companies. I said all of these technology companies, they're all going to explode. They're all just getting started. They're only going to get bigger because as they come out with new information, and if you look at it, Facebook is acquiring their growth. Facebook acquired WhatsApp. Facebook acquired Instagram. Google acquired YouTube. These bigger companies that are becoming the biggest, most powerful companies in the world, they're growing through acquisition.
Yeah.
And Snapchat is starting to grow through acquisition. They're going to continue to grow through acquisition. And what makes them so unique is that they want to bring back the camera. But they want your phone to be the camera.
Right. If you have a long-term outlook, which clearly you do, and if you believe in the company and you believe that they are going to be able to withstand the onslaught of Facebook, the big 800-pound gorilla in the room, in this niche, in the space, Instagram and so on, if you think they're going to be able to withstand that competition, this could finally be the dip that actually becomes a dip and not just another stair step on the way down.
There's some big people involved in Snapchat. Don't kid yourselves. There's really big people involved in Snapchat that have bought it at higher prices than me.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of people involved. It is the future. Think about all the millennials that have bought Snapchat, that believe in Snapchat because they're using it every day.
Right.
Think about all the institutions that bought it at $17 plus. They're all short on it right now. So there's a lot of people that want to see this company succeed. I believe there's more people that want to see it succeed than fail. I just believe, just similar to Facebook, the way these big companies think is if they're going to shake you out, they want to shake you out at the lower levels.
Right. True. I guess I think I just invest differently. I like to buy a dip within an uptrend. So usually, if someone were to buy here, not that you're not. But if someone were to buy here, they'd be buying a dip within a downtrend. So you really need a catalyst to push it higher. And you're mentioning the catalyst, which is that they're going to be unique in the space. It's not just going to be a cult stock. It'll actually become a mainstream means for everybody to take pictures and manipulate those pictures on their phone. Perhaps it might be a generational thing. I'm 45 years old, and so I don't relate to Snapchat necessarily. When I first saw people, posting on Facebook some, picture with rabbit ears or whatever, and a snout, I'm like, what the heck is this? It's not going to last. Well, it has lasted. It's still here, but the stock is down. So I don't buy something I don't relate to. But if you believe in the future, hey, stick with it by all means. Personally, I'm not going to recommend it.
Yeah, no, and that's why I like to have you on my show, because I don't want you to recommend something just because I own it. I honestly want you to tell people exactly how you feel. Don't ever feel pressured, because like I've said before, I am a very risky trader, and I do more investments based on my gut. And if the coin or the stock goes down, or even the real estate goes down, I just hold. And if it goes down, I typically buy more and lower my costs. And eventually, they will have a dead cat bounce where they're going to jump. And at that point in time, I'll be able to make my profit, take my money, and run. And that's the way I've always traded. And I've always been able to win, with the exception of a couple times when the companies have gone bankrupt, which doesn't happen every day. And I try to not invest in those types of companies. And I don't believe Snapchat's going to go bankrupt. So I actually believe that they have a great future, similar to Facebook, because whenever my kids come to my house, they're like, Daddy, give me your phone, and then they're on Snapchat. You know, so I see that. I see it with my own eyes. And I just believe the kids are the future, and the kids see things, and the kids are a little bit special and unique in the sense that kids will see things differently than us adults. And they'll say to me, Dad, you got to do this on YouTube, and Dad, you got to do that on YouTube. And based on my own daughter's success, I mean, I can't really argue with it because kids sometimes know more than us because they're watching more YouTube than we are. Kids are watching a lot of YouTube.
And your daughter has more views than any of my videos, so I'll tell you, that's pretty good. That's fantastic. She's gonna be the next PewDiePie. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that would be incredible. That would be incredible. It's crazy because my kids literally they critique my channel and they give me tips and they're like, Dad, you gotta stop talking. Dad, you gotta stop talking about stocks. It's too boring, Dad. Dad, stocks is boring, Dad. Stop talking stocks, Dad.
Oh gosh. Well, you know, wait till they grow up and start making some money in stocks. Then they'll be saying, "Hey, Dad, yeah, can you give me some tips there? I appreciate that. Thanks." Then they'll want to talk about stocks then too. So cool. Any other? I hope we helped Epic Hustler out there make a decision. He's got two different perspectives. Ultimately, Epic, you'll have to make the choice.
I'm holding my BVTK because I believe in the company. That's why I'm holding it, because I believe in the company. I know why they're going down is because they have a stop sign on the stock. Until they get rid of the stop sign, they're never going to go up. I can't force him to get the stop sign off. I can't control the company. The CEO was supposed to come on my show. He hasn't come on my show. So, I mean, that's where I'm at with the company. Should I sell it? Probably. But I'm a stubborn guy.
You're a hodler. You know, there's a fine line between
I'm a natural born hodler.
hodling and being stubborn. It's a fine line. It's a murky line. You know,
it's stupid. I think it's stupid. But you know what? Maybe just because I've seen it at a penny, I just believe it can go back there. But as long as it's gonna have a stop sign, it's never gonna go up, and that's the issue. But it's like it's one of those things where it's like you get rid of it, and the next day the stop sign gets removed, and it shoots up to 10 cents, and you're like, oh my god, I would have had $100,000. And instead, I sold for like $4,000 or $2,000, and you just want to shoot yourself, and that's the problem. You know what I mean? And that's the thing with trading, and the reason why I don't like to sell, you know, unless I feel good about it. You know, I like to feel good about it. So I don't know.
It's just a different philosophy. That's all it is. No one's right, no one's wrong here. Very cool. Any other questions before we wrap it up from our peoples?
No, I don't think there's any more questions, man. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for bringing me into your home again, Mr. David Moadel. I love hearing from you every single week. Give everyone a shout out and let everybody know where to find you, your social media links, please. And we love having you here on Rich TV Live.
Well, I love being here. Thank you, Rich TV, for providing all the content you do every single day, including weekends. Even if there's an eclipse or a fight, he'll be here, streaming live. I am David Moadel, DavidMoadel. You can look me up on YouTube by typing my name, David Moadel, into that little search box. I'll come up. Actually, you know what comes up, Rich? A lot of videos, a lot of Rich TV videos.
Nice.
Come up when people type which is cool because that's good publicity for me.
Of
it's
course.
Positive. It's good stuff.
I love it.
But the first thing that comes up is my picture. And so click on that and check out. I've got over 200 videos. Very different style. Mine are very quick, in and out. Give a lesson or give an interview, and then I interview some of the greatest. I recently interviewed Jim Rogers, who has worked with billionaires.
Wow.
Pretty well known guy. He's in Singapore right now, and I got to interview him.
Wow, good for you, David. I love it, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm very persistent. I reach out to famous finance people, and amazingly, they say yes. I'll let you interview me on my little channel. I'm so grateful. And I've got lessons on MACD, stochastics, RSI, Bollinger Bands, all the technical indicators, as well as just general trading and investing concepts, which may be more on the conservative side, not politically conservative. We're talking about financially conservative. Maybe less about taking risks and more about how can I make consistent income in a way that's going to help you sleep at night at the same time. All right. I'm
That's
also on stocktwits.com. I got 45,000 followers on there, 18,000 followers on Twitter. So look me up at David Moadel. All right. And if you want to email me, davidmoadel@gmail.com. So there you go. So on
There
Rich
it
TV Live
is.
every week, Mondays.
David
Tune in.
Moadel. So, guys, every Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, you can expect to see Rich chop it up with David Moadel and talk about all the trending topics of the day, the week, and everything that's going on in stocks, cryptocurrencies, options, futures, commodities, sports, trending topics. It's true. Visit Rich TV Live. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the like down below and comment on the show, because all that I do with David Moadel is bring you winners. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. If you're not winning, you're not watching. Question is, who is watching? Gotta go! Peace!